They just came on now. Let's try get closer to the stage. Sorry. Excuse me. Hi there. Thanks a million.
Do you want to go on my shoulders?
What?
Sorry. Do you want to go on my shoulders?
Yeah, that'd be unreal. Thanks. Wow.
3 celebrates connections made by music this summer. Find out more at 3.ie/music.
All over. Contains strong language, strong opinions, and strong beer. It is not meant for children or for those who think they are children. You know who you are.
Trust me, I'm like a smart person.
Welcome to episode 22 of Dumb All Over. Recording from the home of James Buchanan, Pennsylvania, this is a progressive podcast with brash opinions on politics, religion, and pop culture. We're always under the influence of craft beer. On this week's episode, we will discuss Trump's tweets, exposed votes, and the Scalise shooting, amongst other topics. We will answer your questions on Twitter. We also have an interview with Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, who is running for Congress. As always, I am joined by my co-host, Austin. How are you, Austin?
I'm good. How about you, Tom?
Doing pretty well. We also have a special guest on right now. His name is Brandon, and he is the host of the Ergo show, which you can find on Twitter as well as other outlets, which he'll explain as we go on. Brandon, how are you?
I'm doing good. How about you guys?
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming on the show. We're looking forward to it.
Thank you.
I found your podcast a little bit earlier last week, and you fit right in the idea and in the same mentality that we have, same ideals. So it should be pretty good today.
I'm excited.
Now, I hope you don't mind, but we always start off the show with a little beer because
I was wondering where you're going to get to the beer.
I'm getting there because we need some kind of stimulant when we talk about politics.
Absolutely.
This week's beer is from Hardywood. It is their coffee stout. We got the big bottle today, so I'm looking forward to this.
Yeah.
It's just Russian Imperial Stout brewed with locally roasted coffee.
Good.
Oh,
Sounds interesting. And then for the YouTube people, yeah, that's what a stout looks like.
I know, they all look the same.
They do. I'm not sure why we continuously show.
All right. Cheers.
Cheers. Yeah.
All right. That's fantastic.
That is pretty good. It
Just tastes like coffee.
Yeah, it's like coffee, but without the corruption, because it is a Russian stout. So.
Oh, yeah.
right.
Speaking of Russia,
Yeah, you'd have to get the Russian blonde ale, I think.
yeah, right. First, before we start, Brendan, tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell us a little bit about your show and your ideals, your issues that you like, and all that. Just give us a little bit about yourself.
Absolutely. Obviously, my name is Brandon. I'm 29. I live in Ohio. I currently work as a nurse, getting ready to start grad school. I started my podcast because there's not a lot of people in the African American community that are involved in politics, especially not a lot of young people. Mm-hmm. So my main mission was to try to activate and to inform them, because the one thing I always say that I can thank Donald Trump for is the fact that he woke me up politically, whereas I was never ever interested whatsoever in politics until he happened. And when I got started in watching politics in the news, I didn't necessarily know what anybody was talking about. Right. So kind of what my approach with my podcast and show is to take the news that happens and kind of review it, but break it down into layman's terms to where people could understand the concepts and really understand what's going on. So that's what I do. And I do it once a week. It comes out every Sunday. I release it around 10 a.m. every Sunday. And I try to keep it down to 30 minutes. However, when I have interviews and whatnot, I can't always promise.
Right. Trust me, we know. we know how that goes.
Our podcast is more like a commitment.
Ours started off as an hour long, and now we're bordering 2 hours every single episode because we keep getting interviews in. But we share an interviewee because you had Tom Prigg on the show a week ago or 2 weeks ago, I believe.
Absolutely. Yeah, Tom Prigg, and his interview went on for 2 hours. I would love to have the show be longer, but people are like, oh my God. At first my plan was to do an hour because I'm watching MSNBC. I'm like, oh, they can talk for an hour. I'm engaged for an hour. Everybody else is like, oh, no, it needs to be shorter.
Right. Yeah, we've been battling with that too, but So don't be afraid to go a little longer. I think that the content on your show is really good.
Yeah.
So that's what's important is mostly the content. So as long as you keep doing good content like you are, then an hour, you could get away with that.
Awesome. But yeah, back to Tom Prigg. I hope you guys enjoyed him as much as I did.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Very insightful.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. He was a very intelligent man, genuinely cares about people too, which is great that we're starting off like this because we're about to talk about a man who doesn't care about people. And that's our dear leader, Donald Trump.
So this is the first part of today's Trump Report.
Yep.
Yeah.
First part is it's interesting. I don't know if you saw his tweet, Brandon, but he said that he's under investigation. He actually tweeted that he's under investigation.
He did.
Exactly. By the man who told him to fire Comey.
Right.
Yeah.
And then what was it? Like 5 seconds later, his team was like, "Oh no, he's not under investigation."
Yeah. His lawyer said on TV.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, as far as we know, he's not under investigation. It's like, really? Somebody should tell him.
And then in those same interviews, he's like, he's being investigated for something an agency told him to do.
Right.
But he's not under investigation.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, was that the, I think that was a Jake Tapper interview. Where
I think so, yeah.
It was like within like 30 seconds, the guy contradicted himself.
Exactly. He's under a multifaceted investigation, I meant.
Mm-hmm.
And the sooner he comes to terms with that, the better.
Yeah.
Which, trying to see from his past, I don't think he'll ever come to terms with it.
No, I don't think. I think he's actually got himself believing that nothing's going on, which is actually, it's got to be amazing, right? I would love to live like that. Like, man, I have no debt. I could just keep telling myself I have lots of money.
Yeah.
I'm a billionaire and I'm going to live like one.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
You know what? Fuck it. I'm putting in my order for a Lamborghini right now.
I'd love to see you drive a Lamborghini.
I don't know how to drive stick,
I know,
so I can't do that.
Hey, you got to take the podcast life to a new level sometimes.
Yeah. Ooh, let's do it in my Lambo.
Yeah, new Patreon goal.
I can't drive my Lambo, so we'll just record from it. But yeah, so I don't know. Give us what your this is gonna sound like a stupid question. I apologize, but your opinion on Donald Trump so far.
Let me start with the premise of I've been telling all of my Twitter followers and people who listen to the show that I've taken a vow and an oath to be relentless towards him and the GOP, as they will call themselves. Donald Trump is just a complete moron. I mean, there is literally not a word that exists in human history that could describe the level of disrespect, the level of admonishment that I have for him. He's just a gross human. Like, I get instantly angered just even seeing him in a picture. I'm instantly angry.
Me too. It's funny you say that because, like, just hearing Austin was looking up a video before for one of the topics we're going to be talking about soon, and I started hearing his voice, and I was like, "Oh, turn it off!"
Yeah,
exactly.
Well,
I don't even know why people even take the time to interview him anymore, or even listen to Sean Spicer anymore, because it's just a bunch of lies.
Well, Sean Spicer might be out apparently. We got an update just before you came on that said there's going to be a press conference that's going to talk about his new role in the White House. Which, what does that mean? I don't know.
Let's hope he gets replaced by Melissa McCarthy.
That would actually be really funny.
Yeah.
That would be great, actually.
But that probably won't happen.
No.
Just like, you know.
Although I have to say, I think what really bothers me is that one day, like, kids will have to say his name in that presidential succession. And it'll be there, and there's nothing we can do about it.
Yeah.
I just propose that we just make the number 45 just non-existent in our country.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, you know how hotels don't use room 13?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Let's just... No, there's no 45. We go 44 Obama and then 46 probably Pence.
All right, we might have to get rid of that number 2.
Yeah, so we just got to skip to... Yeah, you got to skip a couple more. Got to go to 47.
Right, we might just go straight to 47 or 48.
Yeah. Paul Ryan.
Oh, no.
It's getting worse.
Skip to Ellison.
I got a question. Who's your support in the 2016 presidential election?
I actually supported Bernie Sanders, and I hesitate to say this a lot because a lot of people are very offended by it, but Hillary Clinton was the worst possible candidate for the Democrats.
Yeah.
And I say that for a number of reasons, but I mean, I don't want to take up your guys' time, but I supported Bernie Sanders.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do too.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do too. Austin found an article that's pretty interesting. It's about votes and how they were exposed. I wanted to get your opinion on it. So, Austin, go ahead, read a little bit from the article if you would.
All right. So the title of the article from CBS News, another
fake news.
Fake news.
Fake news.
So,
Fake
yeah.
news.
Fake news.
Yep.
The title is Nearly 200 Million Americans Hit by Massive Voter Data Leak. And what happened was, the article says, personal information for more than 198 million American voters was left exposed this month after a data analytics firm hired by the Republican National Committee stored the files on an unsecured Amazon server. Deeproot Analytics, Deeproot Analytics, the conservative analytics firm, confirmed in a statement Monday that the files had been accessed without their knowledge.
Nice.
Yeah, for 12 days.
Hey, speaking of unsecured servers, it's so, like, come on, guys. You can't go after Hillary Clinton for an unprotected email server and then do something like this. This is a little bit ridiculous.
Yeah.
And Mike Pence as well.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, well, I think he's still, if I'm not mistaken, and it sounds like I'm going to be joking about this, but I'm pretty sure it's legit. I think he was using an AOL account as well, which tells you how outdated he is.
Probably still on a Commodore 64.
Who the hell uses an AOL account anymore? I don't think I've ever contacted somebody with AOL.com.
Well, Tom, he had his 1,200 free minutes on that disc that he got in the mail.
There you go. Floppy disk.
He's like, well, I haven't used this in a while.
He still has the old school tower for his hard drive and everything else.
Oh yeah, it's white still too, because it's
I
got to be
has...
white. Because if it's not white, it doesn't fit in the Pence house.
No, I bet he has the ones that line his hallways. And he gets like 90-year-old men from NASA who actually worked with those ones.
Let's be careful about our future president.
Right.
We don't need him coming knocking on our door.
Right.
I don't need that.
I just think it's completely irresponsible of him.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
And why is it that the GOP is always involved in some type of voter scandal, whether it's voter suppression, whether it's trying to gerrymander, whether it's exposing data, whether it's Russia? I mean, they're constantly in some nonsense concerning voting.
Yeah, well, I think it has to do with the fact that they are an antiquated party.
They're an opposition party by design.
Mm-hmm.
They have no choice but to be.
And everything about them is old-fashioned, so it's kind of like a perfect storm of ignorance.
Right.
Because they want to make sure that minorities can't vote, they want to make sure that young people can't vote, and they don't know how to work well with technology. Some of the people who did vote get their data leaked.
So minorities, young people, and most likely college-educated people are the people that they fear the most. And and I think that's why Betsy DeVos is our Secretary of Education, because their goal is to destroy education so the stupid people can go out, that people become stupid, and then, hey, Donald Trump looks like a good candidate.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, there you go.
Exactly. And they just, that's a good point that you say that it's a perfect storm of ignorance, because I can't put it to terms how these people are supporting the Republican Party. Like, oh yeah, like let's go support Donald Trump. Meanwhile, he's going to take away our health care. He's going to cut our Medicaid. He's going to try to cut our food stamps, which is stuff that they're mostly dependent upon just as much as anybody else.
Right.
So, I mean, I don't know. I digress.
It